Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. My name is Zahi Syed, and I'm an ACCA member as well as a lead faculty at FPA. In today's session, I very quickly wanted to cover a common question that comes every time at this time of the year, which is, should we start pursuing ACCA after 10th? Or should we start pursuing after 12th, or maybe wait for the graduation? Now, of course, this is a very personal choice and depends upon how much efforts you want to put in while you were doing your 10th and 12th, because obviously ACCA, I'm sure by now everyone knows that it does require efforts, right? So it really depends upon you. However, I'll very quickly try and cover, how do you go about it? So let's say if someone starts ACCA after 10th. Now, when you do start ACC after 10th, there is a route called Foundations in Accountancy. Now, this is the route that you have to select to start after 10th, is because the primary eligibility to start ACCA is after 12th, right? However, there is an additional course called FIA. So anyone who's done with their 10th standard and they want to start, and believe you me, there are so many of my students who are doing ACCA just after 10th, right? So you enroll with the FIA route. Now the FIA route has the same papers that you have in knowledge level, which is MA, FA and BT, right? So what you do is that you start with these three papers, and within FIA, when you're registering, it allows you to automatically move to ACCA after you're done with these three papers, right? So you don't really have to re-register for an ACCA program. As soon as you're done with the first three papers, you can move to start to do the skill level papers of ACCA, which is law, PM, etc., right? So you start with the knowledge level papers after 10th, and let's say if you want to start after 12th, then you can straight away enroll in the ACCA program. Now within that, you should remember that the eligibility to start after 12th is that you should have scored at least 65% in your English and maths and accounts, either of them. So from these two subjects, you should have earned 65%. Let's say if you've not scored 65 again, then you go back to the FIA route and then you start under the FIA route and then you move to the ACCA, right? So that's obviously how to start with ACCA after 10th and 12th. Of course, if you ever get, if you struggle in terms of what documents, registration, etc., leave those questions in a comment and I will try and help you out with that. Now, in terms of whether you should start after 10th, like I said, it is very personal, but let's say if someone has already done accounts in their school itself, let's say some of the ICSE syllabus you've seen that the students start accounting even in their 8th, 9th, 10th standard, right? So if you are someone who's already had a feel of accounts in your school days, right, then of course starting ACC after 10 should not be a challenge. Again, with experience, right? I'm telling you all of this with experience, that it will not be a big challenge. But let's say you've not looked at accounts at all, right, and you want to start after 10th, that is where the amount of efforts that you need to put in will go up, right? So what you will need to do is that you will need to do some kind of a crash course, some kind of refresher series where you are at least aware of some of the basic concepts that are there in accounting. That of course, are there students who do this? Yes, absolutely. There are still so many students who would want to start, even if they have no background in accounts, they will start with knowledge level just after 10. It is just that the amount of efforts will go up, right? So if you're willing to put in that additional efforts, because typically students want to enjoy in 11th, 12th, right? So if you are someone who's who wants to make sure that by the time you're done with your 12th, you're done with your ACCA knowledge level as well, and who knows, you started with skill level as well, which a lot of people do, then yeah, do a refresher. Again, at FPA we try to support the students who who start after 10th. We'll give them a bit of a background around what is there in your 11th and 12th syllabus, or basic bookkeeping concepts, etc. So pick up a 11th 12th book and maybe you can go through it, and that may help you with that as well, right? So if you are starting after 10th, that's what you do. If you're starting after 12th, then ideally you should not have a challenge, because in 11th and 12th you've already looked at the basic concepts of debit, credit, bookkeeping, right? So you should be fine there. So that's what you need to do if you want to start, and if you're not sure, then how do you cover that knowledge gap? Now, in terms of why you should do it, I think the very basic reason behind that is that if you start just after 10th or 12th for that matter, you're able to cover a lot more papers during your graduation years itself, right? So let's say someone who starts after their graduation, and let's say they get an exemption of 3-4 papers, they still have to go through those 8-9 papers, right? And I'm sure people who have done any background on the ACCA, they would agree that it's not easy, right? It takes time. We would like to ideally believe that a skill and a P level should finish in, let's say, 2.5 years, but it does take longer. So, and then of course, then there is a pressure that you should start looking for job as well. There is so much peer pressure around you. This one's making money, that one's making money. What are you doing? So it is going to help you reduce all of that if you start ACCA after 10th or 12th itself. So let's say if you start after 10th, the way you should try and target is that you're done with the knowledge level papers, you're done with the skill level, let's say law paper, maybe an FR paper, right? Because they are more doable. At least be done with these 4-5 papers, and then focus on your 12th, and then start again in your first year degree, your remaining papers. So you can imagine if you're done with 5 papers before 12th and you've got only 8 papers to do in the remaining 3 years of your undergraduate degree, right? So that's what 2-3 papers every year, and it becomes so much doable, right? And we've seen this already, students doing it. So if you start after 10th, that gives you an early edge. Of course, it helps you in college as well, especially students who are doing, let's say, in their undergraduate, they're doing a BAF degree, which is Bachelor's in Accounting and Finance. Some of the syllabus that you study, be it in costing, be it in FM, be it in audit, be it in reporting, all of this will be there in your ACCA as well. So it somewhere or the other complements you and makes your life a lot more easier, right? So I think in all, if you are going to start after 10th, or for that matter after 12th, it is a good decision. It is not something which cannot be done. Look out, talk to people, or leave a comment. I can share more experiences around students who are doing this just after 10th, and believe you me, it is very doable. But yes, I just want to add before I end this video, because I did say it's going to be a short one, is that it is all about the attitude. It is all about the passion you have. So if you are passionate about becoming a qualified accountant, a chartered certified accountant, even before people have thought about what they want to do in their lives, then starting early is never a bad choice, right? So do let me know if you would like to know more information about this. Leave a comment if there are any questions, and please, if you have if you've liked the video, do share it with your friends and family so that they can benefit. Do subscribe to the channels, because I will try and come up with such helpful videos in future as well. And all the very best, and thank you.